What is good, everyone? Welcome back to another episode. This is episode 4 of Question Everything Podcast. You have myself, Americ Masters, with my co-host Hunter. Say what's up, Hunter.
Welcome, everyone.
So now that we completed the entire draft for the 49ers, we're going to cover everything, the picks, and kind of dive into our thoughts about each pick and where the future holds for this upcoming season with the 49ers. So, with that, we are going to begin. So, let's start off with the first pick, which was number 31. And this was Ricky Porcel, round one, 31, out of Florida State. So he's a wide receiver. What is your input on that?
Well, I mean, truth be told, this draft season for the Niners and overall was kind of a disappointment and kind of a head scratcher for me.
All right.
I hope that this guy looks very like he's very talented, but he's it's not really addressing what needs we have, considering they haven't really done anything with Brandon Ayuk or the new rumor about Debo. So unless they have something else in plan that they have not yet disclosed or working with a different team, to me this was kind of odd because I would have probably gone a different direction.
Yeah. I would have went a different direction as well, but we kind of have to think about why they did it. We kind of have to put ourselves into that draft room of the Niners. Obviously, the biggest, um, I guess, topic for draft day was whether we are going to trade Ayuk or Debo. And with this pick, when it happened, I mean, live, we were both shocked. Like, whoa, what's going on, Niners? Why are you picking a receiver? So um, now that I look back at it, kind of understand like what he brings to the table. I
Mhm.
see the value because one thing that we got to consider, we no longer have Ray McLeod as our punt returner.
Mhm.
So Ricky here, Slick Rick as he's known by, actually is a punt returner, kickoff, punt return. So he actually did that in college. So that's a plus. I heard really good things about his route running skills, where it's really comparable to Ayuk. So not only were they teammates for 1 year in 2019, they are both really good route runners, which is amazing. Um, Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that the Niners won't trade either Debo or Ayuk, but the
Mhm.
way that it's looking here, there is a possibility that Debo or Ayuk can still be dealt. Um, the one thing that we have to also consider regarding this pick and why they picked the receiver, according to Over the Cap, they mentioned that prior or prior to June 1st or after June 1st, IU doesn't cost anything to trade. It's a zero deficit. There's no harm, no foul. We could just flip them. When it
Mhm.
comes to Debo prior to June 1st is going to be a $26 million cap hit, dead cap money. That's
Mhm.
huge. No one wants that. We just got off D Ford's contract,
Exactly.
so that actually really hurt us when it came to signing free agents the past
Mhm.
couple of years. After June 1st to trade Debo, it'll cost the team $6 million against the cap. So as of right now, I'm leaning towards a trade with Debo post June 1st.
Mhm.
What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. Like I said, like this guy is he sounds like he could be a great asset to us. It's not
Mm-hmm.
like I want this guy to fail, but I'm
Right,
just trying to figure out the logic. And but who knows? I mean, like I said earlier, we don't know like what's the thought process.
right,
There's could be a lot of things behind the scenes, and I'm willing to give John Lynch a chance, considering like how he got a CMC practically for nothing.
right.
And you already know how much CMC is an asset to us. So, like I said, if we're but it's not up to us because we're just fans.
It's not up to
So
us.
it's not up to us. So that's why I thought it was just a little bit odd. But
Right.
I don't really like. I don't hate this choice, but I also just don't understand behind the reasoning. And maybe as the season goes on, we'll start to see the bigger picture of what.
Right. So this is kind of like information, and usually when we talk data, we do our best to present it to our audience so you could see what we're actually discussing here. We just really don't want to just voice it. We want to show you for those that are visual. So in here, you do notice, according to overthecap.com, Debo Samuel, if we were to actually select the option to, let's see, I think it does mention here. Is it post? No, it's not cut. We're not going to cut them. All right. So right here, trade pre-June 1st. You'll notice here, it'll be a $21 million cap hit. So if you look a little bit lower, Ayuk is nothing. So it doesn't hurt us to flip him for draft picks.
Yeah. And before we get all the Niner fans get all ruffled up, it's not like we want to lose these guys.
Correct.
We have to think about the overall picture because I mean, shoot, if we're up to us, we'd keep everybody.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, you know what I mean? We, you know, like money would have been an issue, but we're not in charge. You know, we're just, since we're not in charge and we're dealt with the hand that we have, you got to think about the future. You know, are you willing to keep these guys and break up and lose a lot of key players, like, you know, like Brock, Warner, Greenlaw, Kittle? Are you guys willing to lose it just for 2 wide receivers?
Right.
So that's the thing that we're thinking. We're trying to think outside the box and not just say, "Hey, what are you, stupid? Why are you dumping these guys?" You know,
right?
We're not trying to sell the farm, but we got to think about how to keep the farm.
Keep them together.
I mean? Yeah, I mean,
you know,
like, don't get me wrong. I mean, like, it's still, unless John's the magician, we just don't realize it, and he's somehow pulled a rabbit out of his hat and make everything work. That's awesome.
Yeah,
we got to be prepared. That's the thing that we're trying to say. You know, like I said, we don't want to lose them, but we just got to think about the overall big picture.
Right.
You know?
So right now, if we were to select the trade for post June 1st, now the numbers change. So as I was alluding to earlier, Debo Samuel, to trade him after June 1st will be a 6.6 million cap hit. So it's a huge difference, 21 million versus 6 million. And we're only a few months away, so we can hold on, allow teams to present packages to us, whether it's draft picks that were just selected this year or actual skilled players, veterans. This gives the Niners a little bit of leeway to see who will be the right fit, who's the right suitor, who can present the best package. 6 million cap hit is not that bad.
Or if you could also see it as, like, you know what, this is a great time for them to evaluate the rookies that they drafted. Will they work?
Right.
Will they not work? So if they work, there's a good chance, you know, the unthinkable might happen. But if it doesn't work, at least we have that safety net, and we have that, you know, like that thought process of what's going to happen next.
See, and now this is one thing that maybe not a lot of Niner faithful know about, but there's a thing called dead money, and this money right here, totaling $9 million, is money that we can't touch. We owe more players. So, for example, Trey Lance, trading him away, that's a $5.5 million cap hit of dead money. So even though he's with the Cowboys and we traded him, we're still on the books for some of his salary. Same thing for Isaiah Oliver, who we just, you know, let go. Oren Burks, you know, TJP, so TDP. So it's like this all adds up. So once this falls off, we're gonna be in good shape. But if we were to trade Debo, that 6 million, it's gonna add more to it. So that's gonna put us closer to 15 million of dead money. So these are, again, things that we have to consider when those are saying, hey, we should just trade Debo for this. This is the reason why Ayuk is more of a candidate in terms of value for the Niners, because it doesn't cost us anything.
Yeah, he's a smarter choice, but again, we just don't know what's going to happen at the moment. You know, we're all in speculation mode, and that's it. But again, we got to trust the process and hope that, you know, that things work out the way they do. But in the meantime, we're just gonna have to wait.
We gotta
Plain
wait.
and simple. You gotta trust
Yeah.
the process.
And right now, like I'm not. At first, I was a little like shocked off the pick. I wasn't too happy, but now that I'm understanding what Parcell brings to the table, I'm all right with it because there is a possibility we're gonna keep Debo, Ayuk, and now we're adding Parcell. Am I saying his name right? Pearsall?
Pearsall. Pearsall.
Right.
Pearsall.
Yes. Slick Rick. We'll just
Slick
call him
Rick.
that. All right. So right now, yeah, that's our receiver right now. I'm okay with it. Let's see what he brings. It's gonna be fun. And fun fact, I heard that Brock Purdy and Ricky Parcell actually played against each other in high school in Arizona because they're both from Arizona. So now that they're on the same team, hey, let's see if some kind of magic could happen. That'll be pretty dope. All right, so let's move on to the next pick here. This is pick 64. It's a cornerback, which we definitely needed. And for Ronaldo Green, I feel like this guy is a good fit. I did watch his highlight films, and he could actually mix it up. He could do a lot of pass breakups, as it mentions down here, 13 pass breakups in college. So that's pretty legit. We need something like that.
But to be honest with you, I don't keep up with too much of what they put down as far as the college stats. They could have the greatest stats, but that doesn't mean it turns out great in the pros. So, but I do like this overall pick. I see we do need help in the corner position. This one I'm not too upset. I'm really I'm happy about it. So and I hope he does well. We'll see how the season goes, and I hope the new defensive coordinator can make this guy a star. We'll have to wait and see.
We definitely got to wait and see. Yeah, and right now I'm trying to bring up the depth chart here. So right now they don't have it updated on the official Niners website. So let me see what else I could do here. All right, so I think this one actually has it. So let me bring this up. All right, so with this here, it's really helpful because it kind of paints a picture for us. So looking at our offense here, of course, currently right now we do have Ayuk as our number one wideout, then Debo. Now they put in Ricky Parcell there. So the funny thing is, though, Jawan Jennings is not listed as the slot, which I'm surprised because I believe he was the slot receiver for us last year. So now Ricky's in that spot here. So that's pretty interesting. I mean, of course, we have our offensive line. I like our draft pick, which we'll get to a little bit later. But right now, based on the depth chart, we're doing good. When it comes to corner, so for Green, he steps right in. So I believe what this is doing is it's allowing not Thomas, but where do I see his name? I don't see his name on here.
Jair Brown?
No, not Jair Brown. Oh, Lenore, duh. He's right there.
Lenore.
So they moved him to nickel. So that's gonna be awesome. That's a big move right there. Because Oliver was our nickel last year, and Oliver didn't do too well. He got burned on a lot of plays. So now having a backfield of Hufanga, we're gonna have Jair Brown. So that's our secondary in the back. And then on the corners, we're gonna have Moody Ward and Green. Now I like that. That's gonna be pretty solid, man.
But that's why I'm really happy with this pick. I'm not it's not much of a head scratcher to me compared to Ricky.
Right.
But I'm not saying that Ricky's not a bad choice either. But
right.
To me, considering the positions that we need, that was a little bit more I don't know.
Right.
But this one, I'm pretty happy about it.
Yeah. So this pick, I hope he develops well and helps our secondary. That was a big hole that we had. With Ambry Thomas last year, he he did a lot of plays that were kind of questionable or got burned on a lot of plays. But I really like the skill set that Lenore's starting to develop now
Hmm.
with Ward. So I'm liking our secondary now, and with the addition of Green, this should be pretty solid for us.
Yep.
So number 3, our third pick out of looks like out of Kansas is going to be an offensive lineman.
Hmm.
So this is going to be pretty solid, Dominic Pooney.
Hmm.
So from what I've been hearing though, is he does play guard,
Hmm.
and he actually plays tackle as well. So that should be something that we could definitely utilize
Hmm.
with the line. So if we go back to the depth chart here with our line, we do have Pooney starting currently at right guard. Could definitely change, but we got Burford Spencer, who's also young, but we have him there. Right tackle, that's going to be the spot that everyone's going to be looking at. That's, I feel like, our hole.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's why I'm happy with this one as well. You know, and it definitely helps address some of the problems as far as like trying to protect Brock.
Mm-hmm.
So this was another plus for me. That was okay. You know, although there was another person that I was hoping that we could have got instead, but he got picked up. Remember the center? Unfortunately, I
Right.
can't remember his name. He looked
Uh,
like a very
Jackson Powers Johnson.
Powers. Yeah, Powers.
Yeah, out of
Um,
Oregon State.
I would have preferred to get him, but this is a good start as far as like beefing up our own line,
Mm-hmm.
and I hope he does great. We'll just have to wait and see how the season goes, and hopefully he gels with the front line, and we'll get better protection from Brock, and
All right.
get our offense going.
Yeah, so this one, it's a little bit of a shock for me, only because we do have our safety and our free safety. They're pretty young, Hafunga and Jair
Hmm.
Brown. But I guess it doesn't help or doesn't hurt to add more depth, of course.
Hmm.
So, with Malik here being our 124th pick, this should be interesting. So one thing that I do like on here that I see is 175 tackles out of 35 games is pretty solid
Hmm.
for safety. So
Yeah.
that tells us he gets after the ball.
Hmm.
So with 4 sacks, I mean, the stats here, of course, it doesn't really, it most likely won't translate that great into the NFL. Maybe it will, but what I see here, I'm impressed, like with this pick.
Hmm.
So
This one I'm like not I'm happy with it too. It's a good rotational player just in case. We'd like to make sure that we're covered on all spots, especially in the secondary,
right,
because we could definitely use the Funga if he didn't go down.
right,
So having a guy this one that can help develop and keep a fresh rotation to me is a good idea.
right.
But I would have still preferred that we beefed up the O line more rather than.
Oh yeah,
But I'm still not disappointed with this one.
yeah, yeah. No, I agree. O line help would have
Mhm.
been really helpful, but again, we're not John or Kyle, so it
Yeah,
is what it is.
yeah. We'll just have to wait and see. Who knows though? Maybe they'll prove us wrong. That's why
Right.
we're just fans, and they're the people in charge.
All right. So our next pick at 129 is Isaac out of Louisville. He's a running back. So, it does help that we pick up a running back, and I do believe like every year we should replenish the running back depth chart. But right now, again, we have plenty of running backs
For me,
on the
this is
books.
like uh, this is what's more a disappointment to me. And the reason why, because I agree with what she said as far as like, yeah, we do need to. It's a good way. It's good to replenish our running game. But at the same time, since we have CMC, Mitchell, Mason, and those guys are beasts. You
Right.
know, I'm not saying this guy could not be, may not be a beast, but as it is, we don't use them as. Well, I mean, we barely use Mitchell or Mason as much as I think we should.
Right.
So to me, this was a head scratcher. This was something like more like, hey, I could wait till either he look for a running back in like unsigned free agency or
Right.
something like something like that. I would have, like I said, preferred to get another right guard. Definitely not a receiver. And but again, maybe they see something in this guy that could really help us out, or there's other stuff like we said, like are behind the scenes. But
I'm just surprised though, because I mean, of course, CMC is our number one running back.
yeah,
But look at the depth chart though. We got 5 running backs. Like, and this can't be accurate because I see Jordan Mason in the very end. He should be number 2 in my book. He
I
should
mean,
be running back 2. Elijah Mitchell should be 3 based on the durability.
yeah, I agree. Like that's why I'm just a little disappointed. But if you think about it, we have more than that. Because remember, I mean, worst case scenario, we still have check, and then we still have Debo. So that's why, as it is, if you count those guys, that's about like what 7.
Right.
So what's this guy gonna do that can help us out in the running back position? That's why I felt like that an O line, a right guard, or even a center would have been a smarter choice. So.
Right.
To me, this was a disappointment. This is right up there with getting a punter.
Right. I mean, pick 129. We could have got a decent lineman.
Yeah.
But, again.
I'm sure that we could have picked up somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
So, again, same round, 4th round, 135. We pick up another receiver. This one definitely was a head scratcher because, again, we could have went tight end. We could have went edge, defensive line, or even a corner, just to beef up our secondary, just to make sure.
Or like an extra edge rusher, and an extra DB, something. Another wide receiver. I'm not putting this guy's skills down or anything like that, but
right.
It's just the needs. What we need more. I mean, worst case scenario, if you guys were stuck on a receiver at that, but we could have gone with Jerry Rice's son then. You know, see, Jerry, I'm trying to make it up to you, man.
I mean, with our depth chart though, like we still have Danny Gray that we drafted like 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't really made it onto the field as much. Speedy guy, but we just don't see enough of him. Yeah. I just don't understand. Like, okay, we got Ricky Parcell. With 31, but I don't see the need to draft another receiver in the 4th round. There's other needs.
That's why it's a head scratcher for me. It was a disappointment. And like I said, this is just another punter or kicker right now, because I mean, unless this guy can, like really, really shine and outshine Debo and Ayuk, which is going to be like, good luck. Right. So I still don't get it, but well, like I said, we don't want these guys to fail by any means. We want these guys to succeed. What kind of like fan wants their players to to fail? Right. That's ridiculous. So we'll see.
Well, I mean, in the 6th round, at 215, we did get another lineman out of USC, so that's good to see. Again, like this individual here, Jarrett, I'm not sure exactly where he lines up. So let me look at the actual depth chart here. So Kingston, so they got him listed as left guard.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we do have Aaron Banks still at left guard, and he plays pretty solid next to Trent. To me, like, I really liked when Feliciano was next to Trent when Banks went down last year. I felt like the line was really solid on the left. Maybe they could put him back on there. But as of right now, we got like, another lineman, a guard, which is great. But we have to see what else we got. Like, go ahead.
For me, like, like I said, it's not bad. I like the fact that we got a lineman just in case, but the position of what position he plays doesn't really fit or fill what we need. You know what I mean? Like, we need, like, the right side needs the help the most, and I don't think we even got that. And especially a center, I think that's another position that we could have, really used.
Right.
At least someone that we know, like, hey, could either build a spot in the future, or could excel.
Right.
Like I said, I hope these guys excel, because I I pray that they prove us wrong. But as a person trying to look at the outside in, trying to figure out what we need, you know. But at least he's not a receiver or running back. No,
Right.
but
Yeah.
but that's just to me is just like one of those things.
So it looks like this. Yeah, this is the final pick here, 7th round, 251. So we got a linebacker, which is good. To get a linebacker, especially with Greenlaw being injured to start the season. Most likely, he may not be ready to start the season. He might be maybe like a week 4 to week 8 addition at that point. So hopefully, he comes back sooner, and we hope that Greenlaw makes a speedy recovery. But in the meantime, we drafted a linebacker, Tatum, out of FSU. So, Florida State does have some solid linebackers and defense. So, this one, I'm not mad at this pick at all. I feel like, it could definitely help us. But according to the depth chart here, I just hope that out of everyone here, besides, the obvious of Dre Greenlaw and Fred Warner, I really hope that they gave Jalen Graham some time, because I saw a little bit in him last year where I was like, hey, this guy kind of reminds me of Patrick Willis a little bit, so hopefully we see more of him. But with Tatum, it doesn't hurt. It looks like, according to this depth chart, we do have plenty of linebackers. So that's always a good sign there. But, I hope
like
our
you
defense
said,
is ready.
I'm not mad either at this draft pick, because it's always good to have a good rotational player.
Right.
And this is a good indication to me of how our new defensive coordinator is going to be like.
Right.
Can he bring out the best out of these guys? Does he know how to rotate these guys properly? And how is he able to adjust? So I hope these guys, like I said, I hope every one of these guys pans out. But to me, the draft kind of left me disappointed and like a little bit of a head scratcher. Not just for the Niners side, but overall, because I felt like there was no really big push from any team at all. I think they all played it safe, and it was just like too much of a boring draft pick.
Right. No, I agree. So there you have it. That is a recap of the 49ers draft. Again, my name is Americ Masters. My co-host is Hunter. Hunter, before we leave, do you have anything else you would like to share?
Well, like I said, we'll just if we have anything else, we'll post it pretty soon. And we hope that you like our podcast. If we're open to criticism or anything, or any suggestions, like and subscribe. And we hope to see you guys.
All right. See you guys.
All right.
Have a good day.
Have a good day.